Hey, 7th graders, Mr. Allard with kind of a flipped-ish lesson here, maybe. But I'm going to go over vocab foldable. This is going to be your AMREV 2 vocab foldable or your Chapter 7 vocab foldable, kind of using those chapters. I'm not going to write any of the sentences, but if you complete this video, answer the question and get a 100, I will give you 2 points on your, 2.5 extra points on your vocab foldable. But what I really want to go through is this formula that has been really working for us with students who are coming into the classroom on Wednesday when we have the time to specifically teach your vocabulary. So without further ado, let's get going. All right, make myself smaller. I realize in this vocab foldable that I don't think I put the formula in it, so I will probably do that now, but it might not make any changes for you in your OneDrive. But as always, in this first part, you can put a picture, you can put a one-word definition. Some people said, do I have to do all pictures and all one-word definitions? No. If you want to do stick figure drawings for a militia and then do a word for mercenaries, go for it, okay? Does not have to be all of the same. All right, so let me scroll down here. So what people should be seeing on their vocab foldables from here on out is going to be 7-up sentence, and then in parentheses it's going to say vocab plus example plus explain, not equals plus. Okay, so I'm going to go through kind of this, what I would do for each one of these. Now I got to make this a little bit smaller. I also don't want to save this stuff, so we'll get rid of that. All right. Don't want it. So, for example, my vocabulary word for this first sentence is militia. And we actually just did this in the classroom with some students, all right? So then I look at, my example of a militia. And one thing I think it's going to do is it's going to be some sort of battle. Now, can I get specific about that battle? Absolutely. You could go to your American early battles and later battle notes and look for that battle. You could look at your map project for the battle. You could look on Google for battle. So I could say battle, not specific. I could get specific and maybe say, the Battle of Lexington and Concord, for example. And then my explanation for that would have to go back to that vocabulary term. So why would the militia fight at the Battle of Lexington and Concord? Well, why did they fight at the Battle of Lexington and Concord? Because the British were trying to take their stuff. So basically, they were trying to protect their homes, right? So what would my sentence look like? I would just make a sentence out of that. The American militia fought at the Battle of Lexington and Concord to protect their homes. Boom. Is that a 100% flashy sentence? No. Is that a full credit answer? Absolutely. I know you know what militia means in that sentence. All right, let's drop down to mercenaries. I'm trying to find a good spot to put my floating head here. So again, same thing. Make me a little smaller here. I know it doesn't say it in there, but we know it. So we could go mercenaries. You could go mercenary, whatever you like. Example, well, did mercenaries fight in a battle? Absolutely. And we talked about a very specific battle that they fought and did not do too well in. Battle of Trenton, right? Explanation. They failed. They surrendered at the battle, right? We talked about the guerrilla warfare, crossing over the Delaware River, okay, all of that good stuff with the Battle of Trenton. So, what would my sentence look like? Britain hired mercenaries. Actually, let's say British mercenaries were unsuccessful at the Battle of Trenton and surrendered to the Americans. Now, there is a lot of other vocabulary words I could get in there. Like I could get the word militia in there. I could get the word guerrilla warfare in there. Remember, if you get those vocabulary words in there, you are going to get bonus points. All right, same idea. Drop me down so I can actually fit some stuff in there. My vocabulary word is guerrilla warfare. My example, again, when is this going to be used? Probably battles, right? Who used it? We could also talk about that. You know, maybe we could say our example would be the militia. There's a vocabulary word for us. What would be our examples, right? We talked about this. You know, what did they attack using guerrilla warfare? Ooh, I keep messing up my signs here. There we go. What did they attack? You know, they could attack supply lines. They could attack bridges, roadways, right? Any of those different things you could have in there. So I could say, you know, the militia used guerrilla warfare to attack British supply lines to help defeat Britain. Something along those lines. Again, not great, but again, I got a bonus sentence in there. It's not flashy. It's simple. Remember, keep it simple, silly. Kiss your sentences. Keep it simple. Treaty. Starting to lose some space here, but that's okay. Well, my vocabulary word is a treaty. So get that in there. An example, right? We can say France and America after the Battle of Saratoga. Right? Why did they form their treaty? You guessed it, right? To fight against the British. So again, you're not going to just copy paste this like last time, and I kind of took the fall on that one. I didn't tell you guys not to just copy paste it, but it kind of defeats the purpose of you writing your own sentences. I don't know why it's saying surrendered is spelled wrong, but whatever. All right. So then our sentence becomes something like this. You know, Britain and France and America after the Battle of Saratoga, America and France signed a treaty to fight against the British. Could we get another vocabulary word in there? Yeah, I think that word down below, that word allies, could get in there. Or maybe you don't put it in there and you use that sentence to build your sentence for allies. That's something you could do too. Make this a little smaller. Down a little bit. So now our vocabulary term is allies. Right? We could use the same thing. We could use France and America. Right? Maybe we get the word treaty in there. Maybe we don't. We could also talk about, you know, the Battle of Yorktown, where they were allies. So you may say something like this. After becoming allies, the French and Americans defeated the British at the Battle of Yorktown and won the American Revolution. That would be pretty simple, straightforward. All right, again, watch this video, answer the questions, use those sentences, make them their own. We did that order. You could flip-flop the order any different way, but make sure you've got your vocab word in your sentence. Make sure you've got an example and an explanation. If you have any questions, as always, hit me up on Schoology. Till next time, 7th graders, head it out.